Hello, hello, hello. We're live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Freemasons Podcast with your host, Right Worshipful Brother George Mudry. And today we are continuing the reading of the Lost Book of Enki. We are on Tablet 12. Excuse me. We're going to try to get through this as best as we possibly can. The last two chapters are pretty long because that's when shit pretty much hits the fan. So we're going to dispense with our usual stuff. When Ken and Joe return on Thursday, then we will start doing our toasts, and we'll toast everybody who's liked us. And the 1,000 listeners, we got up to over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So I want to thank everyone for doing that. And we're going to be getting those challenge coins in hopefully soon, and we'll go from there. But for today, let's start the 12th tablet. As you know, the last time we left off, Marduk got his ass stuck inside of something. They locked his ass away in some cellar dweller basement or whatever. Rolled a big ass stone in front of the door. They broke his ass out, and he was banished off in the distance. And we're going to continue on from there. To come to Earth one more time, Anu decided. With Antu, his spouse, he wished to come. As we know, Anu, A-N-U, is the god of Nibiru, or the leader of Nibiru, which is supposedly the planet that the Anunnaki come from. And there's your trinity right there. And Lil Enki and Anu. While his arrival they waited, the Anunnaki abodes in the Eden to reestablish began. So they're starting to live back in the Eden, E-D-I-N, from the mountain lands where descendants of Shem dwelt to the olden land the Blackhead people migrated. Interesting. Upon the newly dried soil, the Anunnaki let them settle, food for all to provide. Where Eridu, Enki's first city, before the deluge had stood, on top of the myriads of mud and silt, a new Eridu was marked out. So what they did was they built another city over the top of the old Eridu. So I wish there wasn't such volatility in the Middle East, especially in Iraq, because I mean they're talking about how there's cities built on top of cities. I would love for them to excavate, find out, based off of old records, excavate it and see these things, because they got to be awesome. See here, Derek K. Arson put fire. Thanks, man. Jack Hansen, hey, man, just found this podcast a few weeks ago. Started from the beginning, so I don't know how it's gone up to now, but keep up, man. It's great. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Johnny Rockwell, greetings from Atlas. Oh, Jesus Christ. Pythagoras Lodge, thank you. Sorry, brain fart. C. Britland 1. Hey, worship brother Chris here. Love the podcast. Thanks, guys. I appreciate all the support. Really do. We've been, a couple things. It's been really freaking cold, so we've been avoiding this lodge like the plague. It's cold as shit. So Joe's got some stuff going on. Ken's got some stuff going on. So we've been kind of laxing on our recordings, but I promise you we're going to get back into it. Some new topics and hopefully some new guests relatively soon. Pretty famous ones, hopefully. I've been working on that. Just got to find a time to actually get it done. But let's continue. In the center, in its center, upon a raised platform, the abode for Enki and Ninki was built. House of the Lord, whose return is triumphant, is called. With gold and silver and precious metals by Enki's son provided was adorned. Yeah, that's why I want him to find these cities, because if it's adorned with precious metals, come on now. Above, in a circle skyward pointing, the 12 constellations by their signs were marked out. Below, as in the Abzu, waters with swimming fishes flowed. In a sanctuary, a place that no uninvited can enter, Enki, the ME formulas kept. I would love to know what ME formulas are. I want to be clear about this. This isn't Zecharia Sitchin putting his words in. This is what it said on the tablets. Some of the stuff he's pieced together between lost tablets and stories that kind of he didn't really have, so he's pieced it together between the Bible and a couple other sources, but ME sticks out, and I would love to know what MEs are, because he said the ME formulas. What is an ME formula? The only thing I can personally think of is, and again, I don't know if ME is his English translation, and if it is, I wonder if that means mitochondrial extract. From Enlil to Ninlil, the new Nibiru key atop the mud and silt was established. Amid its people's dwellings and cattle folds and stalls, a sacred precinct was walled off. We know that. That the Sumerians, if you look at their cities, they had a sacred precinct. It's where the ziggurats were, and no one was allowed to go in there. An abode for Enlil and Ninlil therein was built. In 7 stages it arose. A stairway rising as to the heavens, to the topmost platform led. His tablets of destinies did Enlil keep. With his weapons it was protected. The lifted eye that scans the lands. Now, mind you, this is all capitalized, which means it's the best translation you can come up with. It's whatever the hell this thing is. The lifted beam that penetrates all. Lifted eye that scans the lands. The lifted beam that penetrates all. I want that firearm. In the courtyard, in its own enclosure, Enlil's fast-stepping skybird was kept. He parked his car in the front yard. Gangster. As the time for the arrival of Anu and Antu neared, for their stay in the Eden, a new place was selected, neither Enlil's nor Enki's to be. Anugki, the delightful place, it was named. Shaded trees in there were planted, a pure white structure, the house of Anu, in its midst was built. There you go. There's the white reference, white being pure. Heavenly. In the exterior in 7 stages rose its interior like a king's quarters was. When the celestial chariot of Anu at Earth arrived, Anunnaki sky ships toward its sword for a safe landing in the place of the chariots in Tilman, it was guided. Utu, the place's commander, his great-grandparents to planet Earth welcomed. The 3 children of Anu, Enlil, Enki, and Ninursag, stood there to greet him. They embraced and kissed and laughed and cried. So long has the separation been. They to each other kept saying, at each other they looked, aging to examine. Though greater in Shars were the parents, younger than the children they looked. Again, Sumerian Tablets, how would they know this? That the Earth spins much faster around the Earth, thus we age quicker than a planet that's off in the distance. And we know this for a fact even when space travel goes on. They talk about how the astronauts come back and their watches are a couple minutes behind. 2 sons looked old and bearded. Ninursag, once a beauty, was bent and wrinkled. All 5 of them with tears were filled. Tears of joy with sorrow, tears were mingled. In the sky ships, there were guests and their hosts to the Eden taken. In a prepared place beside Anugki, the sky ships landed. So they're all basically having a house party at Anu's new house. All the Anunnaki that on earth had stayed in honor guard were standing. Hail and welcome, hail and welcome. In unison to Anu and Antu they were shouting. Then in procession, singing and music playing, the Anunnaki to the house of Anu the guests accompanied. In the house of Anu, Anu washed and rested, and then he was perfumed and clothed. Antu, by female Anunnaki in the house of golden bed, was escorted. She too was washed and rested, and then she was perfumed and clothed. In the open courtyard, in the evening breeze, the tree leaves rustled. Anu and Antu on thrones were seated. Flanking them were Enlil, Enki, and Ninursag. So they're basically setting up a dais here. Attendants, earthlings who were completely naked, wine and good oil served. Others, and so I guess just a bunch of humans running around bare ass. Legarius, what's going on, man? You didn't miss much. I literally just started it. I'm only like a page and a half in. So they got just humans running around bare ass. I guess clothing was a symbol of dignity or a symbol of stature. So I guess humans at this point were still the piss ants. We weren't allowed to have clothes. Others in the corner of the courtyard, a bull and a ram, gifts of Enlil and Enki on a fire, were roasting. Well, there's your bull and your ram. The great banquet was for Anu and Antu prepared for the sign in the heavens it was awaiting. On Enlil's instruction, Zumlu, who in matters of stars and planets was learned, the steps of the house of Anu ascended, the rising of the planets at evening time to announce. Sorry, guys. I apologize for my reading on this. I swear to God, it's not me. This thing sucks to read. It's again, twofold. One, translation of Sumerian text into English over a 5,000-year-old language, difficult. Even more difficult, Zecharia Sitchin was Lithuanian. So he didn't really wasn't that good with English. So, and then you got me, who's can't read for shit. So it's a trifecta of hell. On the first step, Kinshar in the eastern skies appeared. Lamu on the second steps was seen. Now he's talking about the planets here. Remember we talked about Kisar in the eastern skies appeared. Lahamu, the second one on the second step, was seen. So they aligned their buildings according to how the planets move, similar to what the ancient Egyptians did, similar to what we're seeing in Central America with the Mayans. We appreciate the efforts. Yeah, man, this I can't tell you how many times when I first read this, I picked up this book and I'm like, yeah, bug it. Nope, not tonight, not tonight. And I only have a Red Bull today, but I usually get a little bit better with reading, with much less everything, with a little bit of alcohol in me. I don't know, it like improves me for some reason. Mumu on the third step was announced. Ansar by the fourth step arose. So he's talking about the planets. He's talking about seeing the planets in the sky as they rise. Lamu on the fifth step. We know Lamu is Mars. The moon from the sixth step was announced. Then on a signal from Zumlu, the hymn, the planet of Anu in the skies rise, began to be sung. So they actually made a song that was called the planet of Anu in the skies rises. Jesus. Again, translation here. That's what it says, though. The planet of Anu in the skies rises, begun to be sung. For from the topmost step, the seventh, the red halud Nibiru into view came. Whew. So they can actually see Nibiru at this point. That's some shit. To music, the Anu clapped and danced. To music, they danced and sang. To the one who grows bright, the heavenly planet of the Lord Anu, they sang. I think Anu. You guys will look this up. I mean, it's all. Just do Zecharia Sitchin's planet names or something like that, and it'll show you the entire solar system and how they're named out. People much smarter than me broke this down. I believe it is Jupiter, though. I could be wrong. On the signal, a bonfire was lit, seen from place to place where bonfire started. Before the night was over, the whole land of Eden was with bonfires lit. So they're having a whole goddamn block party. After the meal of the bull meat and ram meat, of fish and fowl, with wine and beer accompanied. Yeah, that's a true story. So beer, come on, right? Bullshit. You know, Sumerians were the first ones to invent beer. I wonder if it was an IPA. As long as it ain't that shit natural ice. Anu and Antu to their overnight quarters were accompanied. By Anu and Antu were all an Anunnaki thanked. For several earth days and nights, Anu and Antu slept. On the sixth day, here we go again. His two sons and daughter, Anu, summoned. So, 7 days, and then on the sixth day, he decided to wake his ass up. Of what had on earth transpired their accounts, he heard. Of the peace and warfare he learned. Dad found out that the two brothers beat the shit out of one another. How the earthlings, by the oath of Enlil to be wiped off, had again proliferated, Anu heard. Yeah, asshole. Of the gold discovery in the land beyond the oceans and the chariots placed there, and Lil to him revealed. It was then that the dream and the tablet from Galzu, Enki to his father told. Oh, that's right. Yeah, the dream of the tablet, Galzu. Basically, the vision of Noah telling him how to build the boat. By that was Anu greatly puzzled. A secret emissary by that name to earth by me was never sent. So, for all my Christian friends or my super religious friends, this just goes to show you that even though Zecharia Sitchin and the Sumerian Tablets were saying that the Anunnaki created us, you now have a secret emissary that was supposed to have been sent that was never sent by the Anunnaki, or at least the leader of the Anunnaki. So who was it? There's your angelic. So did Anu to the three leaders say. Puzzled were Enki and Enlil, baffled they that at each other looked. On account of Galzu, Zuzudra, by the seed of life were saved. Zuzudra being Noah. Enki said, on account of Galzu, on earth we remained. In other words, he didn't go back. They didn't all blow the taco stand. They decided to hang around earth because Galzu told them to. Enlil to his father said, the day to Nibiru you return, you shall die. So did Galzu to us say. Incredulous was that of Anu. The changing of the life cycles indeed havoc did cause, but with elixirs cures it was. Oh, shit. So Galzu fed him a line of bullshit saying that if you go back to Nibiru, you're going to die because your body just can't handle the change in life cycles. But what, what Anu is saying is, yeah, you can come back here. We just got to throw some hooch down your freaking throat and you'll be fine. That's interesting. So they can actually go back to Nibiru and they won't die. Which, God forbid, I don't know what you want to call it, happy or sad. If these guys ever decide to come back here, are we going to see the same ones, the same names written in this book? Interesting. Whose emissary, if not yours, was Galzu? Enki and Enlil in unison said. Yeah, who the fuck was he? I'd want to know too. Who the earthlings to save wanted? Who on earth made us stay? Ninurtsag, we know her as Enki and Enlil's sister, her head slowly nodded. For the creator of all did Galzu appear. There you go. There's your divine reference. Was the creation of the earthlings also destined? Of that I must wonder. That's going to blow your mind here. Because if this is the case, okay, and let's just say Galzu was Raphael, the angel, or something along those lines, sort of a godly thing. Why did he keep humans alive? It makes you wonder what our purpose is in the galaxy or in the universe, huh? That maybe mankind, as much as we piss and moan and fight with each other, maybe we do serve a greater purpose. For a while, the four of them were silent, each one past events in heart recounted. Yeah, I'd be silent too. While fates were decreed, the hand of destiny, every step directed. So did Anu say. So let me just break that line down. So what they're basically saying, while the fates were decreed, in other words, when it's almost like karma. It's kind of what they're saying. While the fates were decreed, that's something that we can control. But the hand of destiny, which is divinity or higher power, if you will, you had no control to begin with. The will of the creator of all is clear to see. On earth and for earthlings, only emissaries we are. Whew. The earth to earthlings belongs to preserve and advance them. We are intended. If that is our mission here, let us accordingly act. So did Enki say. The great Anu, who the fates decree councils exchange regarding the lands. To create civilized regions, the great Anunnaki decided. Therein knowledge to mankind provide. Cities of man to establish. Therein sacred precincts, abodes for Anunnaki create. So what they're basically doing is they're saying we're going to give all these naked ass people around here. We're going to give them the whole planet. It's theirs. But in these sacred precincts, that's where we are going to reside. And we're going to let mankind kind of do its thing. We ain't going to get involved with them no more. So they're giving us, in a sense, our quote-unquote freedom. They're letting us take it over. Kingship as on Nibiru on earth establish. Crown and scepter to a chosen man give. Yeah, so what they're doing is they're going to say, okay, rather than having apocalyptic chaos or anarchy, they're going to decide who is going to be the king of men. Let me wet my whistle here, sorry. They're going to decide, basically, we're going to teach them how royalty works. By him, the word of the Anunnaki to the people convey, work and dexterity to enforce. In the sacred precincts, a priesthood to establish. The Anunnaki as lofty lords to serve and worship. So they're now setting up a priesthood. They're setting up a priest class. And I wonder if this is what the ancient mystery schools taught. Secret knowledge to be taught. Here we go. Secret knowledge to be taught, civilization to mankind convey. To create 4 regions, 3 for mankind, 1 restricted, the Anunnaki resolved. Okay, so they're going to create 4 regions of the planet. They're going to set them up wherever. Maybe it's Mayan Central American. Maybe it's Europe. Maybe it's the Middle East. Maybe it's Africa or China. And one of them is going to be restricted. My assumption would be if I was to pick one, I'd have to say that it'd probably have to be Egypt. That's where all the big monuments are. That's where these guys are running shop. They're running out of that area. So I'm thinking probably China, Europe, Greece, around there, Central America, and South Africa. Maybe I'm wrong. It's not the first time. The first region in the Olden Eden land to establish. The Olden Eden land. Okay, so that would be Mesopotamia. For Enlil, his sons to dominate. The second region, in the land of the 2 Narrows, thereafter to follow. What the hell is the land of the 2 Narrows? I don't know. Interesting. Comment. Let me know what you think. What the hell is the land of the 2 Narrows? The only thing I think of is you got the Atlantic and the Pacific, and the Mexican peninsula, whatever you want to call, sits right there. So that'd be 2 Narrows. Maybe I'm wrong. Third region, with the other 2 not mingling in a distant land to Inanna grant. Distant land. Maybe that's your China. Maybe that's your Japan. Fourth region, for the Anunnaki alone consecrated. The peninsula of the place of the chariots will be. Peninsula of the place of the chariots. I have no idea where that is. Peninsula of the place of the chariots. Sinai? Maybe it's the Sinai Peninsula. That's the only peninsula I can think of. Now, this is the account of Anu's journey to the lands beyond the oceans. I'm thinking this is somewhere over in the Americas. Now, this is the account, and how the first region for the Anunnaki cities were reestablished. Having the decision about the 4 regions of mankind civilizations made, Anu, about his grandson Marduk, inquired, "Hey, how's my son? Is he still being a shitbag? How's my grandson? Is he still being a shitbag over being out in the distance?" I must see him again, to the leaders, Anu said. Whether by Dumuzi or Ninkazita to Nibiru, inviting Marduk's ire, I myself have caused. So he's basically saying, despite the fact that, he killed Dumuzi or had a hand in it, and fought Ninkazita, which is Enlil's son, I caused this. I caused this because I didn't give him anything. So did Anu wonder to reconsider the punishment for Marduk he wished. When to the lands beyond the oceans to journey, Marduk to meet, you will be told. The land where he roams, in those parts of the earth he is. So did Enlil to Anu say. Before the distant lands the royal couple went, the Eden and its lands Anu and Antu surveyed. Eridu and Nibiru Key they visited. Where the cities of the first region were planned, they saw. in Eridu, and Lil about Enki complained. Oh, fucking Enlil's such a piece of shit throughout this entire book. Like, he's bitching about his brother all the time, even though his brother did all the work. It's like it's really like, it's like my kids. One of them does all the work, and the other them bitches when he doesn't get anything. The Emmy formulas to himself, Enki, are keeping. You took everything else away from him. Now you want his formula. You want the bag of blow. All right, gotcha. Shitbag. Anu, on the seat of honor seated, words of praise to Enki, said, "My son, for himself a magnificent house built beautifully on a platform it is raised. To the people that the house surround and serve, great knowledge will Enki give. Now the knowledge that in the Emmys is secreted with other Anunnaki must be shared." This is what Anu is saying. Embarrassed was Enki. To share all the divine formulas to Anu, he promised. Yeah, so the father took the baby brother's side. Don't forget, Enki is older than Anu, or Enki is older than Enlil. So it's the same. It's the case of the youngest kid getting everything they frickin' want, and the old one gets shitted on all the time. In the ensuing days, in skyships traveling, Anu and Antu the other regions surveyed. Then on the 17th day, to Anug-Ki, the royal couple returned for one more night of rest. Remember, Anug-Ki is his house. In the morning, when the younger Anunnaki before Anu and Antu for a blessing came, Anu to his great-granddaughter Inanna took a liking. Oh, shit. Anu to his great-granddaughter took liking. He drew her closely, he hugged and kissed her. "Let all my words heed," to the congregated he announced. Oh, yeah, he took a... Okay, let me clarify. I forgot about this. He took a liking. The last time Enki took a liking, he was going for a soil sample, if I'll be PC on that one. But I forgot. Anu can't, because a long time ago, he had his cash and prizes bitten off. So, yeah, that ain't happening. "Let all my words heed," to the congregated he announced. "This place, after we leave, to Inanna as a dowry is given." Oh, so he's giving her the house. He's giving her the keys of the castle. "Let the skyship in which we earth shall survey it to Inanna be present." He's giving her a house and a car. That's nice. It's a good grandparent, not gonna lie. Joyed Inanna to dance and sing, she began. Her praises of Anu and hymns in times to come were chanted. Yeah, he left her the outie. Thereafter, biting farewells to the Anunnaki for the lands beyond the oceans, Anu and Antu departed. Enki and Lil, Ninurta and Isker, with them in the golden land went. Golden land. It's got to be sands. So yeah, it's got to be northern Africa. In stone blocks to perfection cut with pure gold inside were covered. The golden enclosure with flowers of carnelian stones carved, the royal couple waited. By the shore of the great mountain lake was the abode erected. Wait, mountain lake? Is it Lake Titicaca? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's South America. Let me know in the comments. Wouldn't mind the help. I don't know where the hell they're talking about. By the shore of the great mountain lake was the abode erected. I know somebody's right now listening to this going, yeah, he said Titicaca. Keep focused, guys. To the place nearby, there is gold here enough for many shars to come, Anu satisfied said. To the place nearby, Ninurta and Anu and Antu, an artificed mount showed. Christ, the writing in this book. How to a place for melting and refining metals it was made, Ninurta explained. How a new metal from stones was extracted, he showed them. Anak, A-N-A-K, Anak, Anunnaki made, he called it. How by combining it with the abundant copper, a strong metal he invented, he showed them. On the Great Lake, from whose shores the metals came, Anu and Antu sailed. The Lake of Anak, Anu called it. Henceforth, this was its name. Then from the north, lands where great horned beasts were hunted. Oh, this is definitely America. Great horned beasts. They got to be talking about buffaloes, bison. Have to be. In Zion National Park. Daniel Valdez. In Zion National Park, the Narrows is a gorge with high walls and a river going through it. It's about 20 or 30 feet wide. Cool shit. Maybe. We are talking about America here because when they said the great horned beast, the first thing I thought about was a bison or a buffalo. Marduk, before his father, and which means if they're talking about this up here, to the place in there, the artifice mound shown, they got to be talking about the Temple of the Sun, which is in Mexico. I believe it's in Mexico, right? Yeah, Mexico. Got to be what they're talking about. So they're in that area. They're floating around in the middle there. Marduk, before his father Enki and his grandfather Anu came. Nabu, his son, was with him. So Nabu is Marduk's kid. So it's Anu's great-great-grandkid. When Enki about Serapent inquired, Marduk with sorrow of her death them told. Remember, Marduk married a human, married a mortal, and she died. So Serapent died. Now Nabu alone with me has remained, to his father and grandfather Marduk said. Anu Marduk to his chest pressed. Enough, you have been punished to him, he said. With his right hand on Marduk's head, Anu Marduk to be forgiven, blessed. So Anu lifted his prison sentence. Moose up north, maybe. Oh, yeah, there you go. Still, moose is, I'm pretty confident, moose is moose, bison. That's specific to North America. Quote me if I'm stop me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's specific. So if you're talking about great horned beasts, those are the two I know. From the golden place, high in the mountains, all who had gathered to the plain below went. There, stretching to the horizon, Ninurta, a new place for the chariots, had prepared. So they built another chariot place. Interestingly enough, looks exactly like the last one, which would be Egypt. The temples and the pyramids that are in Mexico are actually align perfectly with the ones in Egypt. Look it up. Swear to God, I'll make this shit up. And even if it's not true, it's fact for me. No, but it is true though. They line them up, and they're exactly symmetrical. Where did I leave off? Because I'm talking and drinking. Anu and Antu celestial chariot stood there ready, with gold to the brim it was loaded. As the time for departing came, Anu to his children words of goodbye and guidance gave. Whatever destiny for the earth and earthlings intended, let it so be. Don't get involved in their shit. If they're going to kill themselves off, let them kill themselves off. If they're going to proliferate and do great things, let them proliferate and do great things. Don't get involved. So when people sit there and they go, where's God? I don't understand why God doesn't answer my calls. There you go. Right here. If man, not Anunnaki, to inherit the earth is destined, let us destiny help. And they're going to help mankind. They ain't here to shit on us. So everybody who's freaked out and scared of aliens, especially ones that look like us and stand probably about 8 feet tall, they ain't here to hurt us. Little great fuckers, I have no idea though. Give mankind knowledge up to a measure, secrets of heaven and earth them teach. So give them, it says up to a measure. No, just tell them as much as we want to tell them. Cut it off at some point. Don't tell them everything. Laws of justice and righteousness teach them. They depart and leave. So tell them about justice, righteousness, do the right thing. Don't be a shitbag, and then get the hell out of there. Leave them the hell alone. So did Anu to his children fatherly instructions give. Once more they hugged, embraced, and kissed, and from the new chariot's place, Anu and Antu for Nibiru left. So the Anu god is gone. He's going back home. The first to break the sorrow silence was Marduk. With anger were his words. Oh, this kid just got out of jail, and now he's already starting shit. See, this is why rehabilitation doesn't work and forgiveness and all that crap. This is a perfect example. Here's a god who just got out of prison. You think, oh, man, done with my sentence, man. I'm going to live a straight life. And what does he do? He gets pissed off within 5 minutes of him leaving. Kids. Freaking millennials. What is this new place of celestial chariots of the others? In explanation, he demanded. What after my exile without my knowledge has transpired? You were in exile. You're in prison. When Enki of the decisions about the 4 regions to Marduk told, Marduk's fury knew new bounds. Why will Inanna, a cause of Demusi's death, her own region get? The decision has been made and they cannot be altered, so did Enlil to Marduk say. In separate skyships to the Eden and its adjoining lands, they returned. Sensing trouble, Enlil Ishkur to stay behind instructed over the gold-watched keep. To commemorate Anu's visit, a new count of time passage was introduced. By Earth years, not by Nibiru Shars, what was what on Earth transpired to be counted. So now they're counting by Earth's time. And this is where you get your months from. And they're basically our calendar now. And they did it a little different because ours is kind of based off the Roman thing where you got July, which is Julius Caesar, August, which is Augustus, and blah, 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 blah. But they did it by the constellations. So in the age of the bull, to Enlil dedicated, was the count of the earth's years begun. When to the Eden, the leaders returned to the place of the first civilized region. How to make bricks from mud, the Anunnaki, the Earthlings taught therewith cities to build. So this is where you're starting to get your rise of your city. So I have to wonder. They're talking about the rise of the first city. So this obviously is going to be in Mesopotamia. It's going to be made out of brick, clay brick. That's what they're teaching the humans to make. So when they're talking about all these cities that the Anunnaki have and these sacred precincts, what did they make it out of? Metal? If they made it out of metal, there ain't going to be no trace of it. Because metal, as we all know, rusts, falls apart. I mean, maybe not so much in the dry regions, but I don't know. Interesting. But where once cities of the Anunnaki alone had stood, cities for both them and Earthlings now arose. Therein and in new cities for the great Anunnaki sacred precincts were consecrated. Therein the Anunnaki with lofty abodes were provided. Lofty abodes. Temples by mankind they were called. Therein the Anunnaki as lofty lords were served and worshipped. By number ranks they were honored. The heirship to mankind made known. There you go. Anu, the heavenly, the rank of 60 held. To Enlil, the rank of 50 was given. On Ninurta, his foremost son, did Enlil the same rank bestow. Next in succession was the Lord Enki. The rank of 40 he held. Wow, Enlil's a fucking asshole. He gave his son the same rank as him and shit on his brother and give him a lower rank. Wow, that's garbage. This dude is trash. Next in succession was Lord Enki. He was given the rank of 40. To Nanar, the son of Enlil, and Ninlil, the rank of 30 was assigned. Yeah. So they even put Enki's kids lower than Enki. To his son and successor, Utu, the rank of 20 was allotted. 10 as a number rank of all other Anunnaki leaders, sons was granted. Ranks by the fives between the female Anunnaki, the spouses were shared. When after Eridu and Nibiru and their temple abodes were completed in Lagash and Gersu, precincts for Ninurta was built. His black skybird there was kept. Ininu, House of 50, was the temple abode for Ninurta and Bau, his spouse, or Bo, is my boo, B-A-U, for anybody who's interested. His spouse called the Supreme Hunter and the Supreme Smiter, weapons a gift of Anu, the Ininu protected. Couldn't these guys come up with just a new name? Call the next guy Tom. Tom or Carl or something like that. Fuck. I mean, it's just Inu, Inku, Doo-Doo. It's all the same shit. Change the name. There's other letters in the alphabet. You can do it. Where Sipar, before the deluge began, had been. Remember, Sipar got wiped out from the Great Flood. On top of the mud soil Utu, a new Sipar established. So they're building cities on top of cities. In Ibidar, the shining house, an abode for Utu and his spouse Aya was raised. From there, Utu, for mankind, laws and justice proclamated. I believe that's the word. Where, because of silt and mud, the olden plans could not be followed, new sites were chosen. Adab, a site from Shurabak, not distant, from Ninursag, as new center was made. Yeah, so Shurabak was another city that got mulled over. So now they're calling it Adab. The house of Succor, or Succor, in healing and knowledge, was her temple abode therein named. The emis of how the earthlings were fashioned, bingo, mitochondrial extracts, gotta be it, were fashioned, and Nurtzog in its holy shrine kept. For Nanar, a city with straight streets, canals, and wharves was provided. Urim was its name. House of the Throne Seeds was its temple abode called. The moonbeams to the land it reflected. Isker to the mountain lands of the north returned. The house of seven storms has his abode was called. Inanna to Unki resided, in the abode by Anu bequeathed to her she dwelt. Whew, man, this is a lot of freaking information. Marduk and Nabu. This reads like the Bible. It's the same thing, like the generations thing. Well, this is his son, and he had 5 kids. It's the same thing. They're just what they're doing is this whole thing is telling you where everybody's living and all the houses and stuff that they got. That's all this is, but it's almost over. Marduk and Nabu and Eridu dwelt in the Eden, their own abodes they did not have. So he lived in Eridu. He lived in the Eden, but they didn't buy him a house. So Marduk and his and Nabu are living in a homeless shelter. Awesome. $10 as he takes over the planet. Leave it at that. Now this is the account of the first city of men in the kingship on earth, and how Marduk to build a tower schemed, and wherefore Inanna the Emi stole. The tower. Bet you it's the Tower of Babel. In the first region, in the lands of Eden, in the cities with precincts, by their Anunnaki lords, the earthlings' handiworks and crafts were taught. Before long, there were fields irrigated. On canal and river, boats soon sailed. The sheepfolds and granaries were overflowing. Prosperity in the land filled. Ki Enig, land of the lofty watchers, the first region was called. Ki Enig, land of the lofty watchers. Okay, so the first region, I believe, is the one that was the one no one was allowed into. Then to let the black-headed people a city of their own possess it was decided. This is, I'm assuming, black-headed people is going to be your black people, your Africans or whatever. Which would imply that the Anunnaki were not black; they were white. I mean, they live on a planet that's covered in an atmosphere. I mean, there's no, and they're far away from the sun. I can't imagine. They're probably like Edward and Twilight or something like that. Creepy white. Which brings a whole new spin on the movie Prometheus. Whew, think about that shit. Creepy. But we're not here to get into this. It's up for interpretation. Kishi, Scepter City, it was called. In Kishi did the kingship of man begin. Therein, in consecrated soil, Anu and Enlil, the heavenly bright object implanted. In it, Ninurta, the first king appointed. Mighty man was his royal title. To make it a center for civilized mankind, Ninurta to Eridu journeyed. The Emi tablets that for kingship divided formulas hold it from Enki to obtain. Properly attired with respect, Ninurta Eridu entered. For the Emi of kingship, he asked. You know, with all the stuff that I'm thinking about, I'm sorry, I just got to go back on this when you're talking about the black-headed people came and everything. And you know, if this is the case, like, if the Anunnaki were what you think, freaking white people, man, they got problems with this shit. Like, this is crazy. With all the, like, the fighting and all that stuff. Yeah, whatever. Enki, the Lord who all Emi safeguards, 50 Emi to Ninurta granted. So you give her 50 of them. Here you go, 50. Get the hell out of here. In Kishi were the black-headed people with numbers to calculate taught. So they taught mankind to count. Cool, thanks. Heavenly Nisba, writing them taught. Heavenly Niski, beer making they should have. Oh! This is great. They taught people how to make beer. This story just got better. If you notice, they keep changing the names now. They're not calling them Anunnaki. They're saying heavenly. Did anybody pick up on that? Saying heavenly Nisba, heavenly Ninkashi. They're calling them heavenly now because they're cut above us, according to them. In Kisi, by Ninurta guided, kiln work and smithing proliferated, wheeled wagons to male asses harnessed, not male asses, donkeys. Come on, guys, seriously, head out of the gutter. Craftily in Kishi first were fashioned. Laws of justice and righteous behavior in Kishi were proclamated. It was in Kishi that the people's hymns of praise to Ninurta composed. All right, so Ninurta's not really a bad guy. Yeah, he's Enlil's son. Enlil's a piece of shit, but he's actually helping people right here. Of his heroic deeds and victories, they sang. Of his awe-inspiring Blackbird, they chanted. This dude got Knight Rider. You got the Blackbird. You got like the badass warship. How in the faraway lands the bison, bingo, he subdued. How the white metal to mix with copper he found. What is the white metal? Shut up. Anybody in the comments, what's a white metal? Because that's what it says right here. How the white metal to mix with copper found. And if you tell me what the white metal is and mix it with copper, let me know what the hell that is. Ninurta's glorious time it was with the constellation of the Archer. He was honored. There you go. The Archer. Archer is Orion. Orion's belt. While Inanna in Nuki, her lordship Unki, whatever the hell her name or their freaking city is. They keep naming them the same goddamn thing, just switching letters around. Her lordship in the third region awaited. All the while the domain of her own of the leaders she demanded. So Inanna wants her own. I want my land. I want my shit. Give me my money. The third region after the second one will come. Her leaders thus assured. In other words, we haven't done the second one yet. Cool your jets. Having seen how Ninurta to Eridu journeyed, how the Emi of kingship he obtained, Inanna in her heart a plan devised. To obtain Emi from Enki she schemed. Oh, shit. Oh, freaking women. And you wonder why you're not allowed to Masonic Lodges. Because of this shit right here. So I'm literally just playing. Please don't. Doors open. Don't come after me. Threat protection on the computer. Wonderful. I said I'm sorry. Her chambermaid, Ninskber, that's a name, to Eridu, she dispatched a visit by Inanna to announce. So she's sending her bride, her chambermaid, whatever, to go tell Enki, I'm coming to see you. On his hearing, Enki to Ismud, I know what he did. He started, popped 2 blue pills. I don't know, dirty bastard. On this hearing, Enki to Ismud, his housemaster, quickly instructions gave. The maiden, all alone, to my city, Eridu, her step is directing. When all alone she will arrive, my inner chambers let her enter. Stupid son of a bitch. Pour for her cold water to freshen her heart. Barley cakes with butter give her. Sweet wine prepare. The beer vessels to the rim fill up. Yeah, get me to Viagra. When Inanna alone in the abode of Enki entered, Ismud, Enki's commands followed. Then when Enki Inanna greeted, by Inanna's beauty he was overwhelmed. With jewelry was Inanna bedecked. By her thin dress, her body she revealed. You stupid ass. Here we go. When she bent down, her vulva by Enki was thoroughly oh my God. I'm sorry, children. Cover. I'm sorry. Oh my God. And you didn't think this was a setup. See? Men always thinking with their dicks. Unbelievable. Don't for the listeners, please don't fall for this shit. Please just don't. Use your head. They're always up to something. From the wine cup, sweet wine they drank for beer drinking, a competition they had. Oh, she's getting him hammered. Oh, my God. Show me the MEs, Inanna to Enki playfully said. It's literally Mimi. Let me ME in my hand hold. 7 times in the course of the competition, Enki to Inanna MEs to hold gave. You dumb son of a bitch. 7 times. This is insane. Steve, this is funny, right? Oh, my God. I got nothing for this guy. I got nothing. This needs to be on, like, court TV. That's what this chapter needs to be on. Holy shit. You walk right into that one. For love dressing and for wearing MEs to Inanna, Enki to hold gave. For music and singing, woodworking and metals and precious stones. 94. Oh my. He gave the other dude freaking 50. This chick got 94 of them. Oh my God. That for civilized kingdoms are needed. Enki to Inanna gave. Hey, in the comments, you guys want to take a bet what happens? Holding her prizes tightly, Inanna from the slumbering Enki slipped away. She slipped him a mick. To her boat of heaven she rushed out. To soar away her pilot she instructed. Oh. When Enki from his slumber by Ismud was awakened, get a hold of Inanna to Ismud, he said. When from Ismud that Inanna had already in her boat of heaven departed, Enki heard, to chase Inanna. Stole your car keys, dude, and your credit card. To chase Inanna in Enki's skyship, Ismud he instructed. All the MEs you must retrieve. To him he said. At the approach of Inugi, Ismud Inanna's boat of heaven intercepted. To return to Eridu and the wrath of Enki face he made her. Oh, so he got a hold of her. Dragged her ass back. Bet you she swallowed him. Or sold them to the highest bidder. They're already on eBay, bro. You're beat. But when Inanna back to Eridu was brought, the MEs with her were no more. I called that shit. To her chambermaid in Scuber, she gave them. To the house of Anu, to Inugi, Ninskber took them. She passed them off. In the name of my power, in the name of my father Anu, I command you, the Emmys, to return. So did Enki angrily to Inanna say, he's going to choke this bitch, watch. In his abode captive, he held her. All right, kept her captive. All right, I thought he was going to whoop her ass. When of this Enlil heard, oh, here we go. Enlil's involved. Zinc or lead? Oh, white metal. Thanks, Daniel Valdez. Oh, thank you. I'm paying attention. I appreciate that. I got to get back into this because this just got good. Oh, that's freaking hilarious. So, of course, Enlil's now, he overheard. So, to Eridu to face his brother he came. Of course, he's going to take her side because he hates his brother. I mean, at this point, Enki should just take a hole and put one in his head. Like, by right, the Emmys I have attained. Enki himself in my hand placed them. So did Inanna to Enlil say. The truth of that Enki meekly admitted. Yeah, you dumbass. Hey, baby, hold my wallet and cry that hard. Stupid shit. When the term of Kishi shall be completed, to Anug-ki kingship shall pass, so did Enlil declare. When Marduk all this did hear, he was greatly enraged. His anger knew no bounds. Yeah, Marduk is pissed off. His dad got freaking taken. Figuratively. Taken. Like, I can't believe this. Where did I leave off? Enough has my humiliation been to his father. Oh, he's pissed off that he's not getting a kingship of Anug-ki. Enough has my humiliation been to his father Enki, Marduk shouted. A sacred city of my own in the Eden from Enlil he forthwith demanded. When Enlil to Marduk's appeal no heed paid, Marduk's fate in his own hands grasped. So Enlil told him, Enlil told Marduk, go get fucked. You ain't getting the city. And he said, I'm going to take it into my own hands. To a place that for Anu's arrival before Anug-ki was selected was considered. Nabu, the Agigi, and their offspring from their dispersed lands summoned. Oh, he's going to get his boys. He's riling up the Agigi again. For Marduk, there in a sacred city, a place for skyships to establish. So, I wonder where he's going. I'm going to have to go Babylon. I'm taking a wild guess. Tower of Babylon. That's where he's going. When his followers at the place assembled stones to build with, they found not. Marduk, how to make bricks and burn them by fire to serve as stone, to them he showed the Agigi how to build bricks. Therewith a tower whose head the heavens can reach, they were building. To thwart the plan, Enlil to the place hurried. To placate Marduk with soothing words he tried. So he's like, "Oh, come on, man. No, I was just messing around, man. I'll give you something, man. Don't shit at me here. You're gonna make me look bad." To stop Marduk and Nabu in their endeavor, Enlil did not succeed. So now Marduk told him, "Get fucked." In Nibiru-ki, Enlil, his sons and grandchildren assembled. What to do they all considered. Marduk, an unpermitted gateway to heaven is building. To earthlings, he is entrusting. So he's not only did he summon the Agigi, but now he's got people, men, humans working for him. So did Enlil to his grandchildren say, if we allow this to happen, no other matter of mankind shall be unreached. This evil plan must be stopped. Yeah, why would you want to, we'll give the planet, but we're not going to give more than that. Asshole. Ninurta said, all with that agreed. Well, fuck you all then. It was nighttime when from Nibiru-ki the Enlilite Anaki came from their skybirds, from their skyships, havoc upon the rising tower. Fire and brimstone they were. They bombed the tower. Yep, so this is your story of Babel. Tower of Babel, whatever you want to call it. Choose your language or your dialect. To the tower and the whole encampment a complete end they made. Yeah, they bombed the tower. To scatter abroad the leader and his followers, Enlil thereupon decided. Henceforth, their counsels to confuse, their unity to shatter, Enlil decreed. Until now, all earthlings had one language. Oh, in a single tongue they had spoke, probably Sumerian. Henceforth, their language I shall confound, that they each will not understand. Oh, they will not understand each other's speech. Now, right there, is the key to how we become better. One of the keys to how we can become better as humans. One united language. Unity. Or at least up until recently with technology, we can understand each other's language now. That's a good one. In the 310th year since the count of Earth's years began, all this happen. Let's see here. What do I got here? I got a couple more pages. In each region and every land, the people of different tongue he made to speak. A different form of writing thereafter to each was given, that one will not, the other will not comprehend. Yeah, it's up until recent times when we've gotten, you either had to learn a different language, but now we have this idiot box that we keep in our pocket here, and it's got a translator on it, so you can just say it and translate it to another language. 23 kings did in Kishi reign. For 408 years, it was the scepter city. It was also in Kishi that a beloved king, Etana, Etana, for a heavenly journey was taken. At the allotted time, let kingship to Anugi be transferred. So did Enlil decree. To its soil, the heavenly bright object from Kishi was transferred. What the hell is a heavenly bright object? Whatever. When the decision to the people was announced to Inanna, the exaltation hymn they sang, Lady of the Emmys. Wait. Inanna. Oh, that's the chick who took freaking Enki to the cleaners. Now they're singing praises about her. That's got to piss him off. Oh, my God. Lady of the Emmys. And they call her Lady of the Emmys. Ha! Queen brightly resplendent. Righteous and radiant clothed of heaven and earth beloved. By the love of Anu, consecrated, great adorning or adorations wearing. 7 times the Emmys she obtained in her hand she held, and she them is holding. For the tiara of kingship they are appropriate, for the high priesthood suitable. Lady of the great Emmys, of them she is the guardian. In the 409th year, after the count of Earth days began, kingship of the first region to Anugi was transferred. It was first king was the high priest of the Inea temple abode, a son of Utu he was. As for Marduk, to the land of the two narrows he went, to be the master of the second region, one established expected. Got it. Land of the two narrows. That's going to be in between. It's definitely Babylon. Land of the two narrows is going to be in between the Tigris and Euphrates. That's the land of the two narrows. Now it makes sense. Now that they said that. Now this is the account of the second and third regions were established, and I got about 2 more pages of this, and then we're going to get to and then we have 1 tablet left. That's it. The story is over. And how Ningazida was exiled, and Unuki Arata threatened. Arata, we talked about that. That's Mount Ararat. When Marduk, after a long absence of to the land of the two narrows, returned, Ningazida, as its master he there found, its lofty lord Ningazida was. Ningazida is the boss. I think these are the two that had a pissing match before, but I could be wrong. That might be Ninurta. Ningazida, with the aid of offspring of Anunnaki, who earthlings espoused, did Ningazida the lands oversee. What Marduk had once planned and instructed by Ningazida was overturned. Kind of like 2 freaking presidents. What is it that happened? Marduk of Ninkazita to know demanded. Of the destruction of the hidden things, Marduk Ninkazita accused. Oh yeah, this is definitely, these two got into a pissing match before. Of making Horon to a desert place depart, a place that has no water, a boundless place where sexual pleasures are not enjoyed. The two brothers an uproar made. Upon quarreling bitterly, they embarked. Pay heed, I am here in my proper place, Marduk to Ninkazita said. You have been my place taker. Ooh, he's talking shit. From now on, only a deputy of mine you will be. But if to rebellion you are inclined, to another land go away you must. Yeah, so there's no, listen, I'm the boss here. He ain't the freaking boss. I've been running this show. You're my deputy. Fuck you. Fuck you. They're doing that stuff. But he's saying if you're going to go to rebellion, just get the hell out of here. Of 350 years did the brothers in the land of two narrows quarreled. Whew, that is a long time. God damn. For 350 years was the land in chaos between the brothers. It was split. Then Enki, their father, to Ninkazita said, for peace sake, to other lands depart. For the sake of peace. Pete's sake, whatever. To go to a land beyond the oceans, Ninkazita chose. With a band of followers thereto he went. 650 Earth years, it was the time count. But in the new domain, where Ninkazita, the winged serpent, was called, a new count of its own began. In the land of the two narrows, the second region under Marduk's lordship was established. In the annals of the first region, Magan, M-A-G-A-N, land of the cascading river, it was called. By the second region's people, when languages were confounded, Temta, the dark brown land, it was henceforth called. Neturu, guardian watchers, the Anunnaki were there in the new language called. Marduk as Ra, there you go, the bright one, was worshipped. Enki as Ptah, the developer, P-T-A-H. The developer was venerated. Ninkazita as Tehuti, the divine measure, was recalled. To erase his memory, Ra on the stone lion, his image with that of his son Ashar replaced. So there you go. Changed his face. So that poor monument called the Sphinx has been replaced face after face after face. To count by tens, not by 60, Ra made the people made. The year he also by tens divided. So he's changing a whole lot of shit. The watching of the moon by the watching of the sun he replaced. So he's watching the moon, not the sun. Okay. Whereas under the lordship Tehuti, the olden city of the north and the city of the south were reestablished. I think that's probably South America or something like that. I could be wrong. Marduk / Ra, the two lands, the north and the south, into one crown united. We're definitely talking about Egypt at this point. A king, an offspring of Netiru, an earthling, he there appointed. Mina was his name. Where the two lands meet and the great river divides, the scepter city Ra established. Oh, so never mind. He's still where the two lands meet and the great river divides. Yeah, the Nile. Okay. Splendor to surpass Kishi in the first region he gave it. Mena Nefer, Mena's beauty it was called. To honor his elders, Ra a holy city built. To honor Nibiru's king Anu he named it. Therein, on a place temple abode for his father Enki Ptah, he erected its head within a high tower like a sharp rocket skyward rose. In its shrine, Ra, the upper part of the celestial barge deposited, the Ben it was called. It was the one in which from the planet countless years he had traveled. On the day of the new year, the king and the high priest the ceremonies performed. On that day alone, the innermost star roamed, he entered. before the Ben offerings he put. To benefit the second region, Ptah to Ra, Enki to Marduk, all manners of Emmys gave. What do I know that you do not know? The father his son asked. Then all manner of knowledge, except that of the dead reviving, to Ra he gave. So Enki kept the Emmy that can raise the dead. As a great one of the 12 celestials, Ptah to Ra, the constellation sign of the ram allotted. Here you go. The water flow of Hapti, the land's great river, which is the Nile, Ptah for Ra, and his people regulated. Abundance in the fertile soils quickly came. The man and cattle proliferated. By the success of the second region, and the leaders were encouraged, the third region to establish, they proceed. To make it a domain of Inanna, she was promised, they decreed. As befits the mistress of the region, a celestial constellation to her was assigned. Beforehand, with her brother Utu, the station of the twins she shared. Twins. What the hell's the twins? Gemini. Henceforth, as a gift for Nirsag, her constellations of the maiden to Inanna was allotted in the 816th year, according to the Earth's year count, was Inanna so honored. Far away in the eastern lands, beyond 7 mountain ranges, was the third region. Zamush, land of the 60 precious stones, was the highland realm called. Arata, the wooden realm, was in the valley of the Mindring Great River located. In the Great Plain did the people cultivate crops and grains for horned cattle herd. The 2 cities with mud bricks they built, with granaries that were filled. As by Enlil's decree required, the Lord Enki, Lord of Wisdom, for the third region, a changed tongue devised, a new kind of writings signs for he for it fashioned, a tongue of man heretofore unknown, for Arata Enki in his wisdom created. By the MEs of civilized kingdoms, for the third region, Enki did not give. So he didn't give up any of the MEs, kept them. Let Inanna what for Ungki had obtained with the new region share. So did Enki. Yeah, the bitch stole my shit. She can share it with the next region. In Arata, Inanna a shepherd chief appointed, akin to her beloved Dumuzi he was. In her sky ship from Anugki to Arata, Inanna journeyed. Over the mountains and valleys she flew. The precious stones of Zamush, whatever, she cherished. Pure lapis lazuli with her to Anugki she carried. At that time, the king in Anugki was oh my God, these words. Enmerkar, the second one to reign therein he was. It was he who the boundaries of Anugki expanded. By its glories was Inanna exalted. It was he who the wealth of Arata covered. To be over Arata supreme she schemed. Oh, Christ. This bitch. Back at it again. To Arata, Emnerkar was an emissary dispatched to tribute Arata's riches to demand. Over 7 mountain ranges, though parched lands and then soaked by rains, the emissary to Arata went. To the king of Arata, the demands words, Emker words he repeated. His language and king of Arata to understand was unable, like the bray of a donkey its sound was. Change the language to that's shitty. His language, the king of Arata to understand wasn't able. The wooden scepter inscribed to the message the king of Arata to the emissary gave. To share Anugki's MEs with Arata, the king's message requested. As a royal gift to Anugki, grains on donkeys were loaded. With the emissary to Anugki they went. When Enumurkar was inscribed, scepter received its message, and Unuki, no one understood. Change all the languages. Fuckers. He brought it forth with light to shade. He brought it forth from shade to light. What kind of wood is this? He asked. Them to plant in the garden he ordered. After 10 years had passed from the scepter, a tree grew. A tree of shade it was. What shall I do? Emerkar, in frustration, his grandfather Utu asked. With heavenly Insaba, the mistress of scribes in writing, Utu interceded. On a clay tablet, his message to inscribe Insaba, Emerkar taught. In the tongue of Arata it was. By the hand of his son Bana was the message delivered. Submission or war. Oh, shit. Whoo! So finally, when they deciphered the message, he's like, submission, give in to me, or we're going to whoop your ass. By Inata, Arata was not abandoned. To Anuki, Arata will not submit, the king of Arata said. If warfare Anuki desires, let one warrior, one combat meet. Oh, boy, here we go, David and Goliath. Better yet, let us peacefully treasures exchange. Let Anuki its emis for Arata riches gave. On the way back, carrying a peaceful message, Banda fell sick and his spirit left him. Oh, yeah, no kidding, they were gangsters. Wow. So Banda fell sick, never carried the message. Guys, want to guess what's going to happen in the next one? His comrades raised his neck without life of breath it was. On Mount Hernum, on the way from Arata to his death was Bana abandoned. The riches of Arata Anuki did not receive. The emis of Anuki Arata did not obtain. In the third region, civilized man did not fully blossom. Oh, shit. And that's the end of the 12th. So I think this last one, if I remember correctly, is going to be basically all about war. They're going to battle. So, what did we learn here in this one? I know what I learned. If she shows up half naked and asking to see your wallet and trying to force beer down your throat, she's probably going to rob you. Keep going. Yeah, I can't, man. I haven't eaten yet. I still got to see the kids. So, yeah, I will be doing this relatively shortly. I won't make you wait this long for this last chapter because I want to be done with this one because I want to thank everybody who's given me some suggestions. I know the Kybalion was one that was asked to be read next. That book over there on the end of the table, The Secret Teachings of All Ages, you guys are on your own with that one. It's a long-ass book. As well as Morals and Dogma. Yeah, I'm not going to be reading that one either. You want to read that, you read it on your own because I screw these words up regularly, normal words. And that book is a very tough read. Steve Lose, Life Lessons from the Ancient Ones. Thank you for reading. Anytime, man. If you guys got suggestions, you guys have anything else you want me to read, I will definitely read it. I don't mind. I know Kybalion was a big one that many people are asking me. Could you please do the Kybalion? Could you please do the Kybalion? Yeah, I'll do it. Not a problem. I don't mind. And if you're interested in any of this stuff, if you guys are really interested in the Lost Book of Enki and the things that Zecharia Sitchin has done, there are other YouTube videos of him actually, his own words, breaking it down where he's done. And again, it's a grainy video because he died a long time ago, but he did many lectures about the Book of Dan, and he talked about the Sumerians and when he believed the Anunnaki were going to be coming back to Earth. And you can check those out. They're on YouTube. Just type in Zecharia Sitchin, Anunnaki Return, and it should pop up. Some of them are horse shit. I'll be clear. Some of them are done by hacks. But definitely look for one that's Zecharia Sitchin. And what I'm going to do, though, before I sign off here, I am going to read the synopsis of the 13th tablet to give you guys a little taste of what the last and final chapter is going to say. So here we go. Royal cities sprout with sacred precincts for the gods. We still have that today. Look at Washington, D.C. Demigods serve as kings and priests in palaces and temples. Here you go. There's your rise of religion. Marduk promises his royal followers an eternal afterlife. Okay, kind of where it started. In Sumer, Inanna encourages a belief in resurrection. Love it. Celestial omens and foretelling oracles gain followings. Soothsayers, yep. Mm-hmm. And that's the Greeks were big into the oracles, right? Marduk proclaims the coming age of the ram as his sign. So he hijacked the ram. Ninkazita builds stone observatories to show otherwise. He's like, bullshit, this is my time. This is my time. It ain't yours. No, I don't believe you. No, these two are continuing their pissing match. Insurrections, wars, and invasions destabilize Enlilite lands. The mystery emissary appears to... Oh, he's back. Galzu is back. The mystery emissary appears to Enlil, foretells of calamity. Here we go. Instructs Enlil to seek a worthy man to lead survival. If that's your Jesus story. Enlil chooses Ibram. Oh, Abraham. Ibruum. Convert it to Judaism. Abraham. Scion of priestly royal family. Armies raised by Nabu attempt to seize the spaceport. They're taking that shit by storm. Overruling Enki, the gods resort to weapons of terror. Oh, here we go. Nuclear weapons and some crazy alien shit. Ninurta and Nurgle obliterate the spaceport and sinning cities. Oh, shit. So, all right. I wonder if that has to do with there you go, with the whole pillar assault and the cities being destroyed. What the hell were those two cities? Sodom and Gomorrah. I wonder if that's part of the story. The drifting nuclear cloud. Oh, shit. The drifting nuclear cloud brings death in all Sumer. Yeah. Believe that or not. Interesting how the civilization of Sumer just went away one day. Just wasn't there anymore. It became something else. A Akkadian empire or something like that. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the reading, and thank you for tuning in. And I hope you guys enjoyed this one. It had some funny moments there, and I hope you enjoyed my commentary on Enki being a dumbass. And anyway, for the Freemates podcast, I'll be doing the other one pretty soon, so tune in. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a good night. As soon as I can find the button.